All right. Welcome back to the Little Big Chat Show. I'm your host, Vin. We're here with my co-host.
Carta.
All right.
This is big.
Oh, it is kind of big. Oh, man.
We have episode number 10.
Oh, man. 10 episodes already. Man, time flies.
Sorry we couldn't post last week. It's because my dad was on vacation without me. With his buddies.
That's true. I actually did go on a little trip with a couple friends. We went to New Orleans, which was a lot of fun. I loved all the Cajun
How
food.
much did you spend there?
Not too much. It wasn't too bad. So it was okay. It wasn't too bad. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But obviously, I missed you guys, and I was happy to. I was happy to come back home. But yeah, it was nice. It was a good time. But I was only gone for a few days. It was just
only 3 days.
Yeah, just 2 nights. So it wasn't too bad. And but by the time I got back, I was pretty tired, and I didn't really want to. We didn't really have much time in order to record an episode. So we figure we'll just skip last week and just jump into it this week. Now, we had a busy day today, right? You know, like you and your brother, you guys both had Spanish class,
Vietnamese class, and then Bible study with our uncles, like last time that we told you guys.
Yeah, so that was fun. And then it's kind of been a start of this new tradition where Uncle Bayu comes over with 2 of his sons that's around the same age as you and Alex, and then we basically we'll do Bible study, and then we'll go do some sort of physical activity. Where would that be? Last time I think we ran, and then today we actually went to play some basketball. And then
we did first to 11 by ones. The first game we lost, like
also
what was it, 11-1?
Well, you gotta
explain the teams.
The teams, yeah.
The teams were 4 kids versus 2 adults.
Yeah, so initially they were talking all this trash, thinking that they were gonna beat these 2 old guys. And it was 4 kids versus the 2 adults, and the 2 adults just dominated, even though we were playing casually. Well, the funny thing is that we wanted to play half court because we didn't want to run so much because, you know, we're old. and the kids were like, no, we gotta go play full court.
It wasn't even full court. It was like half a full court.
It was like a small full court, but it was definitely bigger than a half court. But it was fun. We were going back and forth, and it was 2v4, and the kids, although they tried to make it competitive, it really was not.
We lost 11-1.
And then we changed it up where we're like, oh, you know what? Let's go ahead and
family versus family.
Family versus family. So it was me, Carter, and Alex versus Bayo and his 2 boys, and which was a lot of fun. I will say, like his both of his.
I made 4 points.
Yeah.
And Alex, even though he was throwing like this, he somehow made 2.
Yeah. So I will say, like I pretty much the only sport that I really play is basketball, and unfortunately, my kids, they just never really got into it. I think they're starting to enjoy it a little more, but they're not, like, because they haven't really played it, they're not that good at it yet. But I have hope with the passion behind your plays today. I think maybe in the future you might be pretty good. But yeah, so it was fun. It was very, very fun. But yeah. Bayou's kids, they were fast. They were hustling hard. And
even though one of the boys has asthma, he was
hustling hard, man. He was doing good. They were all doing great. So there was a lot of back and forth. They were beating us for a little while,
like 7-4, maybe.
Yeah, and we were just playing up to 11. So we're like, we got to turn it up a notch.
And then we somehow won 10-11.
Yeah, it was tied. Like we tied up with them at 7 because we were playing a little tougher defense, and we kept them at 7. Then we tied at 7. Then we actually got the lead. It was 8-7.
But then they tied back.
It was 8-8.
Then I think we got 9, right?
I think they might have gotten
Oh yeah, then they got
Yeah.
9 and we're like, oh no.
Yeah, it was like 9, and then we tied that, so it was 9-9.
And we got the 10 and we're like, yes.
I know. Then they came back and tied it at 10, and then Carter with the wild layup from it was a far. It was like you probably could have taken maybe one, if not two more steps closer to the rim to shoot the ball. But man, that was a wild man shot, and it went in so beautifully. We're like, whoa, what a way to end the game.
Well, talking about basketball, my dad wanted to talk about sports for today because we both like sports. I like soccer, he likes basketball, so maybe we could teach each other some stuff.
Yeah, well, really, I just wanted to understand. Well, I'll tell you first how I fell in love with the game of basketball, and then you could tell me how you fell in love with the game of soccer, because I don't play soccer. Your mom doesn't play soccer, but yet you, my friend, love soccer.
Your dad doesn't play basketball.
I know, so that's why I'm going to tell the story.
Your mom doesn't play basketball.
That's right. But that's why I'm going to tell the story. So, so I grew up in Chicago in the 90s. And most people who just by hearing that, they already know what's up. They already know.
It was peak, according to him.
It was the peak of basketball because
Michael Jordan.
Hey, see, he knows. He knows.
It's because we have a Michael Jordan statue like right over there.
We actually do.
Like a mini one.
Yes. But yeah, it was peak basketball for basically the world, I think. But it all revolved around Chicago because of the Bulls dynasty. And I was growing up during that time, and it was everywhere. And then I started playing basketball with my friends. And then, we love watching basketball because Chicago was just dominating. It's like we were like the giants of the NBA.
No longer.
Come on, man. Why you got to do us like that? Yeah, Chicago's had a rough time since then. Like, there's no doubt about that. We have struggled to rebuild. The closest that we've got to anything since then was when Derrick Rose was around, and that was very fun for a little while. But unfortunately, Rose could not stay healthy, and he kept getting injured, and it was a very unfortunate time for us. But it is what it is. But anyway, so that is why I love basketball, and a lot of people my age, especially the folks from Chicago, they love basketball. So, your turn. Why do you love soccer so much?
So, when I was in 3rd grade, I would just play kickball because that was what my cousin was playing. I just tagged along because he's my cousin.
Mm-hmm.
But then one day, like there were no kickballs left, and we didn't want to join in with other folks, so we decided to join in with the other kids that were playing soccer. And then I just had fun, and we started to just ignore kickball and only play soccer. And then we started playing soccer a lot more, and we would only play kickball if there was no grass, like on rainy days. So then the more I played soccer, the more I got into it, and then that's why I started wanting to sign up for soccer and all that.
Oh, wow. It's funny. I had no idea that's when you started playing soccer. But it's funny because you had played soccer before, like for the Park District and everything like that. And you seem to have enjoyed it then, but you just never played during recess? Really?
No, I would only play like tag and kickball.
Oh, interesting. And it all started in 3rd grade, huh? Well, I will say, like, I did notice that once you got to 3rd grade, like, your skill level did improve quite a bit. Like, when you were continuing to do the soccer through the Park District, when, you definitely have stepped up. And I will say, it is very impressive to see how you started, like, almost like the evolution of how you played compared to how you played now. Like, I feel like when you first started, you were always decent. You're always like you're always hustled. So I will give you that. You're definitely one of the smaller kids out there, but you always hustled hard. So there was always that. And I think at a young age, if you gave it your all and you gave a lot of effort, that goes a long way, and that goes a long way as an adult too. But I think definitely when all the kids are kind of learning their skill sets and everything, it definitely goes a long way when you're hustling hard. Like if you're very passive, then you're not gonna have you're not gonna see much success, especially when you're at a younger age. Like I remember when you first started, you were a little passive, but okay. So I remember, I want to say this was either first grade or maybe it's got to be second grade. I think it was second grade. Um,
That
you
I
all,
started.
huh?
That I started.
No, you started, I think, in first grade, but I think it was second grade when things kind of like the switch kind of flipped for you. Because I remember one particular game you were playing, and
None of the star players were there.
none of the star players there. Like I would say, you were probably the out of I don't know 12, 13 kids or something like that. You were probably, I don't know, maybe like the fourth or fifth best kid, and just because, and part of it's not even like because your technical skills are there, but I think it was because you hustled hard, and and you weren't bad by any means, but you just hustled a lot. And I remember that one game where there were like, when you first showed up, there were no subs, not enough kids showed up, and the best players were all gone that day, and it's like, what just happened? Like, and then out of nowhere, you were the best player, and your coach was like, all right, Carter, let's do this. And she kept you out there pretty much the entire game, and you hustled so hard. You played, like, you weren't able to score. I remember this was like your first time,
But I
kind
think
of.
I got an assist, no?
No, I don't. No one on your team scored, because there were a
Okay.
lot of kids that just they never played before, and they were just kind of like standing around. But you were running back and forth from like, switching yourself from offense to defense. You were just everywhere. And I remember at the end of the game, the coach came up to you and said you were the MVP today, even though you guys lost. But just the fact that you gave so much heart and you gave so much effort out there, that she was just so impressed, and she was like, "Man, that was." I talked to her briefly, and she was like, that was very impressive to see you really step up. And I think that kind of flipped the switch for you, where after that you were really, like, you really stepped up after that. So I was very pleased. And I think, then later on when you moved to,
Third, fourth.
yeah, the third and fourth grade teams, um,
I was the best player.
you were the best player. I mean, it was very challenging, because I will say, again, during this age, it's like there's some kids that they've been playing for years, and then there's some kids that have never played, and then the kids that have never played, it's very tough, because it's very tough for the coaches, because now they're having to teach these kids just the basic stuff just to understand, and also third, fourth, that's when they start introducing the kids to offsides too. And for kids who've never played it before, they just don't get it. And it's very, very confusing for them, and they just don't know what to do. And I remember, you were struggling with trying to keep your composure, because you're like, man, how is it possible that these kids don't know how to play? Because again, you've been playing for several years, so you've already, it was very natural for you at that point, because you've already played for several years. But then you got other kids that have never played before, that's just learning, and which was fine, but it made it a very tough season.
And this happened for like maybe like 3 seasons in a row.
Yeah, yeah. I will say that was probably the toughest thing, was that like, just hoping that you're going to be on a decent team, and hoping that you can grow, and then going on a team where some of these kids are literally just learning the basic stuff, like, hey, you need to follow the ball, just stuff like that, or at least pay attention to where the ball is, because they're just not used to, like, just field awareness and that type of stuff. So I think that was a little challenging for you. And then I know definitely it wasn't as bad when you were the third grader, but I think when you moved to being the fourth grader, where you were like the big, one of the older kids on the team, that I know that was tough. That was tough, because, you were, most of the third graders were taller than you, anyways. And they all just kind of relied on you to kind of, score pretty much all the points. I think you scored all but 1 or 2 points in your last season as a fourth grader. So that was very challenging. And but it is what it is. And I know you worked very hard, and I know that has helped you greatly. You getting sleepy though? We have had a long day, and we had a late night yesterday too. But yeah, I think your development has really improved. I like your new team right now. Now as a
because there's a lot of kids that do travel.
Yeah, so you got kids that are on your team. Now you're in the fifth, sixth grade.
Can you sign me up for travel?
Well, it depends. We'll see how good you do. But right now you're doing pretty good. But you got to keep it up. I think your passing is it definitely improved greatly. Like I noticed in this last game you were like passing a ball like you were threading the needle where there was like opponents coming in. You're like kick the ball right in between, hit and it'll hit your teammate like perfectly for him to just move along the field. So that was great. Like I was sitting there with some of the other parents watching the games, and they were like, "Whoa," So you had some impressive moves. I think there's still work to be done, but I think.
What would you say that I have work to do?
I think because now you're no longer the best player on the team. I think you have a tendency to give up the ball too soon. That's the one thing where you could probably dribble a little more and create more space and make yourself.
Now that like I'm one of the younger people on the team.
Yes.
Now that it's like fifth, sixth, and I'm a fifth.
Yep.
If I dribble too much, like what I did last season, I would keep on losing the ball.
I don't know if that's true because I think that's. I don't think that's true because I've seen you like steal the ball from sixth graders even on your team when you guys are scrimmaging, and I've seen you do that obviously with opponents where they're coming up and they're passing up all your teammates, and you come in there and you just steal the ball and then you dribble, and you could take it much further. But I think you have this I don't know if it's shyness or just concern that it might get stolen, and maybe that's just what it is. Just maybe you're a little more worried that it might get taken from you, that you think you can't handle it as much. But I think you'd be surprised at yourself because as I'm watching from the outside, it's a lot easier to critique when you're on the outside. But I think with your field awareness and your dribbling skills and whatnot, I think you can take the ball. I'm not saying you need to take it coast to coast like what you used to do, but I'm saying you I think you have the ability to dribble a little more, create a little more space, and then maybe pass it up, or even get yourself in a position to potentially score. But I think now, because you recognize that you're not the best player on the team, you just have a more tendency to pass up opportunities. So I think that's one of the things.
Dang, you said tendency like 30 billion times.
That's what it. Well, those are your tendencies. So I'm just calling them out. So just understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what do you think has been? So now that you're on a team that's actually undefeated, you guys have won 3 games, lost 0, but tied 1. So
it still counts as undefeated. We didn't lose.
That's what I said. You guys are on did I not say you're on undefeated? How do you feel about being on a team that's seeing some pretty good success?
I feel happy because for once I don't have my teammates aren't relying on me so much. Like when I'm defense, they do, but sometimes they don't. But sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't.
Mm.
And
I think you have a lot of good weapons on your team where you have a lot of players that have the ability to step up, and I think that's been kind of great to see, because now I think there's definitely a clear best player, but
who would you say is the best player?
I don't want to say other kids' names on the show, but you know who
like the number.
I don't know the numbers, but you know who it is. Everybody knows who it is. It's that kid that always handles the ball, like brings it up. He's always shooting.
The kid with the red hair?
Is it red? I don't know. I think his he's a taller kid, whatever. He handles the ball a lot. He's always a striker. So you know who I'm talking about. But anyways, so
Maybe.
yeah. So anyways, um, and that kid's very good. He's the nice thing about him is like he's very aggressive and everything. But but I will say you have a lot of other players that are really good on the team too. So you can pass the ball to almost anybody, and you can feel confident that they'll be able to handle the ball. Like I think in previous seasons, you didn't have that confidence where if you pass the ball to somebody, you're like, oh man, this kid's gonna lose the ball, or like, and now you got to run back on defense real quick, and it's a lot more taxing on your body. Where now you can just here, I'm gonna pass it to pretty much anybody, and they'll be able to handle it for a little bit, and and they'll be okay. And that also makes you feel a lot better on that team. I will say I was talking to your coach for a little bit, and he had mentioned that because this is like an intercity league, intervillage, whatever,
intercity.
It's the same.
It's not.
So we play against two other towns. So we play against a couple other teams, from other cities that are by us. So he was saying the other teams that are from our town, they are 0-4 against those other teams, whereas we are still undefeated and we have beaten teams from two other towns.
Wait, so are we?
We're representing our city is basically what I'm saying. Is that's what your coach was saying? Is like our team is the one carrying the flag for our town.
So do we have like the highest like
Ranking?
the best team, like the ranking across the entire intervillage?
I believe so, because we're undefeated. Now I don't know about that one team that you guys tied with. Like I wasn't at that game. That was when I was out of town, so I don't know what their. I haven't looked up the rankings, but I don't know what their.
That's the same team who stole my water.
Is that right? Yeah. Oh, dude, why don't you tell this story? That's so bizarre.
So basically, last game, I just grabbed my water. We were doing warm-ups, so I'm not gonna hold it during warm-ups. So I just put it on the ground, where the coaches sit, right? The other team, they look at all their stuff. They don't even question like, whose is this? They just grab and go. They take my water, and they even took someone's backpack.
Oh my goodness, so crazy. Yeah, it was so crazy. Like, I don't know, we're in the middle of the game. You run over to us like, someone took my water. And me and your mom's like, what are you talking about? Like someone, the other team, the team that was here before, the game took it. I was like, well, we have extra water here. Like, you take your brother's water or whatever. But I was like, you got to get back to the game. The game's live. It's going. But yeah, you said some other kid had extra water or whatever. Or something.
Thankfully.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was so wild. And it's fun. It's like, you have your name on your water, so it's like what like how is this happening? What's going on here? It's like, why would they grab stuff that's not theirs? But again, when it's inter-village, you can't trust these other guys. Just rivalry that goes on. But yeah, okay. So far so good. And I feel like you are really into soccer. And would you say that your love for soccer is stronger now than it was before? Because I felt like really? Because I feel like in previous years, or maybe even just last year, you were watching a lot more soccer. You were watching a lot more soccer games, or on TV, and you were playing more soccer video games. Whereas I don't really see you doing either of those anymore.
It's because like the games on Roblox. They're blowing up a lot more, and they're just really fun.
Okay.
And my cousin, he can't play those soccer games with me. And you deleted the soccer game that you played once with me.
Wait, so why can't he play the soccer games with you? He could theoretically download it and play it with you.
No, he doesn't like those games.
Oh, okay.
And Alex doesn't like those games, so I have to play like Roblox with someone. Because it's boring by myself.
Are you still watching like soccer videos on YouTube? 'Cause I don't really see you doing that anymore. Because you used to do that all the time.
Only little.
Only a little.
Like only when I'm scrolling on shorts. They sometimes pop up. But sometimes they're like really annoying YouTubers, so I just don't recommend their channel.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Not like ours though. Ours is solid.
Yeah, ours is the best in the world. I'm totally not being biased, but like ours is the best one.
So ridiculous. Okay. All right. Cool. So you're saying that your love for the game is actually stronger now.
Yes.
Did you enjoy it when I took you to go to a Chicago Fire game?
Yes.
Yeah. It was a little chilly that day. I remember though. Yeah. I kind of wish
I was freezing.
Yeah. I kind of wish we planned a little better because the temperature wise, it looked like it was supposed to be a lot warmer, but we were kind of in the shade the whole time. That made it feel like 10, 15 degrees chillier. So that was like way cooler than I thought it was going to be. So would you like to do that again?
Only if it's like June, July, August, because it'll be warmer.
I think we just got to plan a little better. You mean we just needed like
because you picked a day that was like 38.
No.
Degrees
It was
negatives.
Like, it was like 70 degrees.
For real?
Yeah, but the problem, like I said, was that it was supposed to be a beautiful day, but we were just in the shade the whole time. Like there was no shade. I mean, I'm sorry, there was nothing but shade because it was very cloudy that day. But then the other issue is that it was super windy. So it was very windy that day. So it made it feel even colder. So otherwise, like if it was just straight temperature, like when you're just sitting out there under the sun, man, it felt great. It was awesome. But yeah, it was just kind of the weather just did not cooperate and we just didn't plan
How does weather cooperate?
By being nice and not being windy, not being too cloudy. But anyways, okay, cool, man. Anything else you wanted to add? This is the 10th episode. So this is a little bit of a milestone. I wasn't even sure if we were going to make it to 10. And here we are.
You know what? Because it's number 10, I want to do it so that every 10 episodes, we do a shout out to someone. I'm just kidding. A story of the day that happened to us.
Say that again. A what?
A story of the day.
A story of the day.
You want to do it today, or do you want to do it next time?
You can do a story of the day if you have a story you want to share.
Today, story of the day is
your winning shot.
My winning shot.
That's what you were gonna say?
Yeah.
That was a good shot though, man. It was like you took it.
I just threw it.
I know, but I was like, and it was like it was perfect. Like it was a bang shot, like pop pop, and we're like, whoa. So that was a good way to end the game.
And then Uncle Bayou's sons, every single time they shot, they were like bang, and then it hit the rim and went out.
I know there were a lot of that. There were a lot of in and outs, man. That was kind of. I had a couple of those too. I'm like, oh come on. I was glad you ended the game because your uncle and I were getting a little tired because we are old.
Bruh.
And I had worked out in the morning too.
One of his sons has asthma and I have thalassemia, bruh.
Yeah, whatever, bro. Hey, we still played. Just remember that first game, all right?
When we got home, I asked mommy to buy me an inhaler.
Get out of here.
I'm not even kidding. I used to have one, but then we no longer have it anymore because
it was just because it was more that was more related to your allergies than anything else. That was
but still.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Anything else? You good to go? All right.
That was episode 10. Oh shoot.
Hang on.
That was episode 10. That was episode 10. Do it with me.
I'll do 5 and you do 5.
10 of our little big chat show. See you next time.
All right, bye.
Watch our short. Bye.